Do you ever feel like you're hustling nonstop, working harder and harder, yet still questioning if you'll ever feel financially secure and fulfilled? My guest today, Terri Nicholas, a certified financial planner and money coach, says real wealth isn't just about money in the bank, it's about joy, purpose, and balance. In this episode, she shares how to break free from limiting money beliefs, stop tying your worth to your paycheck, and start designing the life you truly love. You don't want to miss this conversation. Hey, Mama, welcome to Career Growth for Working Moms. If you're stuck in a job that doesn't fit or burning out trying to do it all, you're in the right place. I'm Shannon, a career coach and fellow working mom. Here, you'll get simple career strategies and strength-based leadership tips to help you grow with clarity and confidence. So grab your coffee or reheat it for the third time, and let's do this. Hello, welcome. I'm so excited to have Terri Nicholas with me today. Terri is a certified financial planner, certified money coach, and certified success principles coach. She helps high achieving women create what she calls true wealth, the kind of success that goes beyond money to include joy, purpose, and balance. After decades of chasing the bottom line, Terri had her own turning point during the pandemic when she realized joy isn't tied to a paycheck. That realization fueled her mission to help women break free from limiting money beliefs, design their next big chapter, and step into the lives they truly love. Terri, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here, Shannon. Thank you so much for inviting me.
So, you've built a career blending financial planning and mindset coaching. What inspired you to combine those two worlds?
Great question. Well, need.
Need.
Basically, I saw, Shannon, that if I just created a financial plan and gave it to somebody, nothing really changed. But if I coached them through the plan and held their hand, kept them accountable, and took them step by step through the process, they succeeded and they achieved the goals that they set out to achieve.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, it's because you need that mentor. You need someone there to help implement, not just tell you what to do, but to walk alongside of you.
Absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head because people, nobody, it's like the old, what's his name? Zig Ziglar. I don't know if you ever followed him. He's got some like great one-liners. And
Yes,
one of them is people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. Well, people don't like to be told,
right.
but they love to be guided.
Yeah.
So I figured that one out early on when I first started in financial planning because the industry at the time, and I don't think it's really changed too much, they had this great tool, but they weren't using it properly. They were
Mm.
using it to sell insurance. And nothing wrong with selling insurance, but I felt like they were really missing the mark. And I made it my mission to change things and be the disruptor and take the tool and transform it and augment it so that it really became useful, in particular to women. Women have a different way of approaching money versus men. Men, it's like ready, fire, aim. Women like to be guided along. They like to be certain that the decisions that they're making are going to benefit them long term. And they tend to think more of the global picture of the entire family, where men don't seem to as much. And I know that may sound sexist. I'm just basing this on my personal experience working with both.
Right. Well, my question is, do you see working moms tying their worth to their financial success?
Absolutely. Especially for the women of, I'd say women that are like late 40s to early 60s, like your Gen X women.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I believe, Shannon, is that they are the women who are the first ones who were told that they can have, be, or do anything, but no one told them the cost. No one
Yes.
told them that, you can't play both ends against the middle. You can't put on your superhero cape and fly around and expect everything to just, all your ducks to line up in a row. Ducks never line up in a row. Even if
Right.
those ducks are your children, they never line up in a row. So now they've been grinding it out 20 years or so. and they've been climbing the ladder. They're near at the top. They look around and they're not sure they like the view anymore, and they don't know what to do about it. And that's where I come in, helping them sort all of that out, transform their life so that they have one of meaning, purpose, and balance while creating the wealth that they need to create for their family.
And that's your true wealth
Yes.
portion of what you do. So, what does that really look like for these career driven moms?
Well, what it looks like is taking the career and taking the family and going through exercises to help you really sort out your priorities. It doesn't mean you have to choose. It just means you have to kind of bring what's in the back of your mind to the front of your mind.
Right.
And when you do that, and when you can see clearly what your purpose is, what your mission is, and your vision for your future, it makes it very easy to say no to anything that does not line up with that. And I know this firsthand because I did it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's you're basically helping people break those limiting beliefs that they have around money.
hmm
So, what are some of those the most common limiting beliefs that you see?
Well, one of the most common is that in order to be successful or to be perceived as successful, you have to get up every day, hop on the hamster wheel, run like crazy, jump off, lather, rinse, repeat.
Right.
And if you're not in constant motion and you're not like push, 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 then you're doing something wrong. That's one of the number one limiting beliefs that I see around
Mhm.
money.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I can see that because and that's what leads to burnout. And I know that
Yeah,
my listeners are struggle with that as well because we feel like we can be superwoman at all times
right.
and we can't. Like it's okay to delegate, it's okay to say no, it's okay to take care of ourselves and all of, everything. So I think that that's
It's
great.
it's not only okay, Shannon, it's mandatory.
It's needed. Yes.
It's essential. It is essential. In fact, I'm running an event on September 19th. It's an in-person local event that I'm really excited about for that reason. You just like everything that you just said, and gathering about 12 women together to brainstorm, to have community, to collaborate, take a day just for themselves, and help them really sort out their priorities. So, and teach them how to say no to to things that just don't align with what they really want.
Yeah, that's important because I know I have a tendency at times to say yes and then I get overwhelmed and then I have to stop and like, okay, what can I get rid of? And what can I have to go back and say no at times and that I'm
Right.
guilty of that.
And it's so much easier to just do it out of the gate, to
Absolutely.
just get it right the first time. And, what's the worst thing that can happen if you say no? What happens is somebody else picks up the slack. It's amazing. People can be too nice. I've seen it over and over again. It's like they're always the one that gets the phone call, gets the, oh, can you do this? Can you pick up my kids? Can you blah, blah, blah? And they don't know how to say no to it. And yet, when they need help, it's crickets.
Right. Right. And sometimes by saying no, you allow someone to say yes, and they
Exactly.
actually excel better, probably at that job, skill, whatever, than you do. And now you get to bring that to light and show them, empower them in a way
Right. And
by saying no.
even if they get an 80 out of 100,
Right.
if you would have gotten 100 if you did it yourself, but this person comes along and they're doing it and they get an 80 out of 100, 80 out of 100 is damn good.
Yeah, it is.
It's good enough. You
Yes.
now have that block of time that you can go do something else, even if that something else is do nothing.
Right. Right. What advice would you give to the moms that maybe are at a crossroad and dreaming of a new chapter in their life? What 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 strategy or what advice would you give to them as they're trying to maneuver back into the work field or trying to change up their financial situation?
Well, that's a great question, Shannon. The first thing that I recommend is speak with a financial advisor or a financial planner who can help you sort out what it is that you actually need for financial resources so that you can determine if you have enough right now or what's the gap, if there is one. And then how do you fill that gap? Because when you know that, this is one of the things that I think really sets me apart as a coach, where I'm not just doing life coaching or just doing business coaching. I look at the financial end of it too, so that
Right.
they have that clarity, because when they don't have that, that's when they bail too soon because they get scared, or they never
Mhm.
get started because they're scared. So let's get that right out, right on the table, right out of the
Right.
gate. Figure out your budget, figure out exactly what you need, because I really truly believe, Shannon, that life is way too short to spend it in a job or a career that makes you miserable. Because let's
Absolutely.
face it, when a woman is miserable, everybody knows it,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
And
that's so
nothing
true.
against them, but we wear our heart on our sleeve. That's just
Yeah.
how we're wired,
Right.
for the most part. So figure that one out from the very beginning, and then the next step will be, if you're in corporate. And I've worked with a lot of women that are in corporate. They've 20 plus years in their career. They're tired. They just it just doesn't light them up anymore, and they want to find that spark. They want to create that next chapter that's really going to light them up. So I help them look at the job that they are currently in, and let's pull out of that some of the tasks or skill sets or things that you do that you really love.
Mhm.
Maybe there's two or three things that you really love to do. How do we turn that into a viable business? What do we need to do? And I help them with all of that.
Right.
Maybe there's nothing. Maybe they want a passion project. Maybe they have a burning desire to, solve the homeless problem or do almost anything.
Right.
Where do we start with that? And I'll help them sort all of that out. If they own a business and they forgot the reason why they went into business in the first place, which happens a lot because the business consumes them,
Right.
let's dial it back. Let's figure out where the problems are. What can you delegate? What are the weaknesses in your leadership style?
Right.
Because often what happens is a solopreneur who then brings on employees and doesn't really know how to be the employer,
Mhm.
they have that weakness in their leadership style that ruins everything.
Right.
And if they can get that right and they can figure that out and get that fixed so that they can empower their employees, get things off their plate, go home at a decent hour, now they can reignite that spark of why they went into business in the first place.
Right. Brings back the joy. So,
Exactly.
what about those listeners that might be sitting here saying, okay, well, I'm stuck in a bad money habit pattern, or, um, I don't have any, like my finances are in a really bad spot. What are some small steps that they can take today or this week, or what are the first few steps that they even should consider taking to kind of break free from that?
Number one is to stop saying that to yourself, because what
Mindset.
you say, what your thoughts become real. So if you say to yourself, I'm bad with money, I live paycheck to paycheck, I don't manage money well, that becomes your reality. So number one is stop saying that.
Mhm.
And what you do instead is you have a micro habit that tells you that information is not true. So for example, if you say to yourself, I live paycheck to paycheck, or I can't save money, say stop. That is not true. And even if it's a dollar, put it in a savings account. Get in the habit, make the habit. And if it means you have to do like an auto transfer from your checking to your savings, do it. Move money from your checking account to your savings account. Doesn't make any difference the number, it's the habit. And once you have that habit and you do it for the first time, the messaging that you give yourself is, excuse me, it's like you're proving to yourself that you can save money with ease and grace. So you can use a mantra, and I like to use two words, I am, all the time because that's calling in spirit. So you'd
Mhm.
say, I am so happy and grateful. Always show gratitude. Now that I am saving money with ease and grace.
Oh, I love that. It's beautiful.
And if it seems long, practice it, revise it, make it your own,
Right.
but using the words I am and using gratitude. happy and grateful, or I am so grateful, whatever you want to use, but I am and grateful are key.
Yes.
And then everything in a positive sense, that I am blah, 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 whatever it is, saving money easily, happily, joyfully, whatever.
Yeah.
Now
I love
that
that.
is going to tell your brain, guess what, Toots? You're saving money with ease and grace. You're not living paycheck to paycheck because you're saving money. And then
Right.
eventually increase that number.
Right. I love the gratitude piece. I'm very big into gratitude, so I love that part too. Now, these the listeners are moms. So,
Mhm.
what would you advice would you give them for even starting their kids off on the right foot? Um, as what age would they start giving them, like having them start saving or anything like that?
I think as soon as you start giving them an allowance, or if they're going to school and if they buy lunch at school or they have, you give them money to buy whatever at school, that's when you start. And what you want to explain to them is, let's say, I don't know what lunches cost. I'm going to make up a number. Let's say lunch is $3 a day. So that would be $15 a week. And you give them an allowance of $15 a week. Never give a handout. A handout never helps anyone, but a leg up does. The leg up is it's in exchange for chores. And this is not child labor. This is setting expectations that they have a responsibility, even if it's hanging your backpack up when you come home from school, not leaving your toys scattered all over the floor, anything like that. Because now that not only helps them learn responsibility, but it helps keep your home from looking cluttered and chaotic, which adds to your stress if that's the case, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you teach them this is in exchange for, and then you make your own list, whatever works for your family. When they complete all of their tasks, like let's say it's Friday or Saturday and they've done all of their things, you could give them a checklist and every week print out a new checklist, put a star on it, check it off, whatever you want to do to give them incentive. They see that they've completed their tasks. Now they get their allowance. And you explain to them this has to last you all week. That means it's $3 a day. You can't spend more than $3 a day. If you wanted to buy, I don't know, let's say you bought your lunch and you wanted to buy an extra ice cream. Okay, that means you can't buy lunch another day. So that means you have to bring your lunch. So if you're
Yeah.
okay with that, just understand this is the money. When the money runs out, the money runs out.
Right.
That we don't have an easy payment plan here.
Yes, I
So you're
love that.
teaching them that
Mhm.
responsibility and the cause and effect. It's,
Absolutely.
that is such a valuable lesson for them to learn.
Yes. And they
And
can start that when they're young. I mean, even at like
exactly,
5 years old, they can, like you said, hang up their backpack when they come home or pick up
right,
their toys. It doesn't have
right,
to be going out mowing the grass.
right. It doesn't have to be digging ditches or, saving the world. It just happens to be being responsible for yourself. Make your bed, pick up your dirty laundry, bring it to the laundry room, whatever works for your family so that they are responsible for their little world.
I love that. That's such great advice. Well, Terry, where's the best place for our listeners to connect with you?
Well, the best place is on my website. It is wealthcoach4women.com. On the website, you will find some freebies. There is a tab that says, I think it says freebie or giveaways or something like that. There is a landing page for a tool, the ultimate transition checklist for
Okay.
anybody that is thinking of making a big change, and this little tool will help you sort things out. I also put a link in the show notes for you, Shannon, that you can share with your listeners. And this is one of the best tools I have ever used. When I used this tool on myself when I was going through the training to
Mhm.
become a success coach, it literally changed my life. I'm not even exaggerating. It is called the Keep, Stop, Start exercise. And what you do is you go through the sheet. You can print out as many as you want. What things in your life do you want to keep? What things in your life do you want to stop doing, keep doing, and start doing? And it's a brain dump. You put it all down and then you sort it out. And then the question is, if I want to stop doing it, Is it something that can just go away, or do I delegate it? If it's something that I want to start doing, how soon do I want to start doing it? And the things that you want to keep doing, that's pretty obvious. You just keep doing them. But when you look at that and you look at all of the things that you do throughout the day, it is so eye-opening and transformative to go through that. And when you see the things that you want to stop doing, and how much time that will save you in your life. Now you're going to be able to start doing the things that you want to do. That's how you improve the quality of your life. That's how you improve the balance in your life. And that's how you get back that sense of purpose and fulfillment that you so richly deserve.
I love that. And that is a huge takeaway. I always like to end with a takeaway that they can implement today or this week. And that is something that they can do right now. Is there anything else you would challenge the listeners to do this today or this week?
I would challenge them to go through the keep, stop, start exercise that I shared with you. There's a little video that walks you through it, and then the tool itself. I have the whole toolkit. I added more, so you got the whole PDF there. But do it over the weekend. This is a long weekend. It won't take you a half an hour.
Right.
Just find a how, even if you go for a drive and just park your car somewhere and just do the exercise, you deserve it. And if anybody would like to know more about me or, how I help people, on my website, you will find a bright orange button. Actually, it's orangey red. So depending on how you see colors, it's either orange or red. And that is booking a breakthrough call with me. It's a 30-minute call. You can do a brain dump on me, tell me what's on your mind, what you'd like to change, and in 30 minutes, I will give you some tips on how you can move forward. If it's something that interests you and you want to work with me further, I will explain what that would look like, and then we just go from there. If you're satisfied with the 30 minutes, we part as friends, and that's the end of it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Terry.
Oh my God, Sharon, and this is great. I mean, this is like when I saw your podcast, I said, this is right up my alley. These are my peeps. And I am so happy that you invited me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hey, Working Mama. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share it with a friend who's stuck in her career but doesn't want to sacrifice her family to grow? Also, please leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It seriously lights me up to know this show is helping you navigate burnout, find clarity, and lead with confidence. All right, time to shut down my laptop and pretend I'm not hiding from folding that laundry. I'll meet you back here soon for another episode of Career Growth for Working Moms. You've got this.